I have definitely made some changes in my financial advice. One of the first things is that I am now advising people to target a 1-year emergency fund, which sounds like a lot. We can talk about how do you calculate that and how do you actually do that if you lost your job, for example, but that's one change. Another thing that I've really been talking to people about is the psychological mindset of how to take action right now. And, there's a little framework that I've been sharing with people, which is step one is you have to accept reality. And that means that, for example, if you're a waiter, your job's not coming back for a long time. And we have to just accept that that is the case. That's really painful because culturally, most of us are optimistic. We want to go west. We think that everything's going to work out. All of our movies end with two people walking off in the sunset. But sometimes reality is a little tougher than that. The second thing that we have to do is make a plan. It's one thing to be worried and anxious about money. Fine, all of us are feeling that way. But after we accept reality, we have to decide, hey, what if things go great? How am I going to come out of this? But also, what if things go poorly? And then finally, we have to move. In normal times, we get paralyzed. And if you think about it, if you're driving down the freeway and you see something in the middle of the road, what's the first thing you do? You slam on the brakes. It makes sense. But in a time like this, in a crisis, that's actually the last thing that you want to do. You don't want to freeze.
What do you mean when you say slam on the brakes in this? You're saying just don't stop thinking, don't stop processing, opening bills, moving forward, making a plan?
Correct. Because see, what happens is most of us freeze. We don't know what's going to happen. We wait for the government to tell us. We wait for our boss to tell us. We wait for everyone around us to tell us what's going to happen, and we delegate our own authority. Now, hopefully they know, but I think reality has shown that they don't. And so better that we move instead of staying stagnant and paralyzed and waiting. And listen to this, it's even better if you move and you make a couple of mistakes as long as you are moving. But so many of us are paralyzed to do anything, and that is the last thing you want to do right now. I remember hearing a podcast interview with a former Navy SEAL, and he said, when other people do push-ups, they get tired. The more push-ups I do, the stronger I get. And I just thought it was such a beautiful reframe that when things get hard, we can actually get stronger. So, so many of us wish for things to be easier. And the first question they ask when they hear that script is, can I text them or email them? And that's the wrong question to be asking, because what you're really saying is that phone scares me, or calling up somebody and asking for what I want scares me. So is there some shortcut I can take? And I would challenge everyone here, just like you said, I wouldn't wish these times on anybody. But in these times, they give us the opportunity to really rise up and become bigger than who we previously were. And so if the phone scares your past self, maybe your current self looks around and says, you know what? It's time for me to find a way to overcome that fear. So that is my hope for everyone here. The phone call is actually the smallest part of how you can transform yourself right now. In retrospect, when you look back on this 5 years from now, you're going to look back and say, I can't believe that phone call, or I can't believe starting a business and posting something on Instagram, selling something for $50 scared me, because look how far I've come. But you have to pick up the phone, or you have to post that first sale right now to know that you can actually be bigger than you thought you could.